my squad, I fucking built this fucking squad, bro. Like from fucking.
I told you like the same thing.
From the bottom up, dog. From the bottom up, homie. Damn. But if I lose, I lose. I love it. It's okay, bro. I lose a lot. It's okay.
You went from the top to the bottom.
Yeah. From the toes to the.
You started at the top.
I started macking the toes. Eddie. Mac the toes first. Mac the toes first, dog. Oh fuck, my camera's on, that sucks. I know you can see my camera, but I'm not gonna point it at myself. I'm gonna take a piss, I'll be back.
You're pretty scared now, you're all scared. You're scared, bro. You're scared, bro. You're all scary, and you're scary, bro. I mean, just let's describe it. I'll give you a tip. I'll tell you, shit. Yeah, there it is. It's easy, you just click the share button, but you have to have a YouTube account. Once you have a YouTube account, you can link it. It just does it automatically. You can make it from your phone, and then once you have it on your phone.
It's like digester also.
Go where you're at right now.
If he doesn't shower.
Shower.
I'm gonna kick you off the bed. I'm literally gonna go.
Yeah. Yep. That way just drips clean. Like this is just a clean drip. Just. Yes, sir. That's how you do it, dog. That's how you do it.
Hey, Gil, can you lick the camera?
Yes, please.
I'll send you money.
Meow, meow, meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Why is this?
Yeah.
Feel the camera's tripping on me.
Go in it. It's in your drawers.
Oops.
No, that was not clean yet. It's for screwing more.
I think I got money on Gil.
Nah, I don't know, bro. Eddie's fucking beast mode, dog.
Put your headphones on, man.
I just don't want to let myself down. You know what I mean?
I honestly think Gil could smash, but Gil just needs confidence, bro. Charlie, Eddie's fucking trying hard right now, bro.
No, I agree. No, it's gonna be fun. This is like yeah, like we get to hang out. Yeah. This ain't the playoffs now. We're both going to the playoffs regardless. I mean, and I have to play Eli twice.
Stop.
So you know what I mean?
Relax.
So I started the day on
No, that one's not for
search,
you.
and 9 trackers were downloaded on
Yeah, Eli does go deep, but
Try it, but
I have to be careful with this motion.
They can get my IP
Try it.
address or the device I'm using or the
I'll eat
screen
that.
size. They were able to determine my location very precisely. Next, I went to HuffPo, and I was...
What color are you wearing, Eddie? You going white or dark?
There were dozens and dozens, and they're just, the trackers are just kind of, you know...
Yeah, cause I don't want to do the same color you are, bro. Hey, hey, I'm brown, dog. I'm just joking. All right, let's do it. Yes, sir.
Don't smoke that banner.
Don't smoke that Bammer weed. Don't smoke that shit in the SSE.
Hey.
With something that's got some heft to it. Just some weighted chunks of whatever.
Whoa. Ah, ibigay Tosco.
Wake me up and keep me on my toes.
And then Yogi?
NBA T on TNT. Eddie versus Gil
Yo.
Find ourselves again.
on Doc Doe's channel.
And then you I then go
That's what I want. I don't know what anyone wants in there.
Yo.
How close we are to that particular technology existing because it is private. It does often take
It's done deal. I hope I chose my fucking right defense. Oh, I got fucked up.
Oh, Gil didn't.
Did I pick multiple D?
No, you didn't.
No, we'll find out. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure I picked multiple D.
I'm checking your video right now, bro. I'm checking your video right now.
You can check?
Yeah, you
How's
did.
that?
Yeah, but I'm watching your live.
Oh, I hear you could. Yeah,
You did.
awesome.
I just rewinded it, bro.
An easier time getting the things they need from brands.
You did.
Just
You
yeah.
did, bro.
It's Monday. Just I came home,
It's all in Maslow's famous hierarchy.
pick up the beers.
People want their physiological needs
Got excited. Let's go.
accounted for, and their search history handed over directly to the Aflac judge. Epsilon's ad even goes on to show how that particular service of theirs works, demonstrating how they can create a client ID for someone that contains everything they know about them, like the fact they're a vegan, and that they make $45,000 to $50,000 a year, or that they are a 41-year-old male who is married, with kids at home,
like smiles
and
right now.
stove bloke stuck in butts, what to do, question mark. And once companies like Epsilon collect enough information about you, they can sort you into groups.
Let's go, Gil. Let's go, Gil. Come on, Gil. Dose. You need a fucking. You need to fucking smash on. You need to smash on skulls right now.
Potlucks and the great outdoors, golf carts and gourmets, and kids and cabernet.
There you go.
Those are all
I disrespect Eddie, but I need those to win, dog.
Damn.
I need my division to look hard, bro.
immediately greenlit shows on TLC.
Yeah.
And look,
Oh, Nick Chubb,
if a
bro.
company wants to toss your data,
Nigga Chubbs.
kids and cabernet, so marketers can make
Nigga Chubb's abusing me, bro.
you seem like a bad mom in a fun way.
Because we're all supposed to.
Gil's defense is tired, bro.
Oh, already off the back?
No, it's your
Nah,
thing.
just joking. I'm not.
Nah, we're good. We're good. We're good, dog. That was just a good move by Eddie. That was just a good move by Eddie.
Why is this door so soft?
Okay, put on top of my food.
Okay.
Okay.
Put on top.
Gil, see? Eddie's changing emotion. Gil's changing.
That's good. That's good. That's good. No, I do it. Do it. It's gonna be like it's gonna be a buzz off after a few times. It'll slow down.
All of these locals battle depression. This list is monster deep. So we bought this data and it tells us you're pregnant. And you are. I am.
Yes, sir.
I am 18 weeks.
Yeah.
That's pretty creepy, isn't it? I honestly did not think there could be a worse thing to ask for than you don't know.
Look, you had Michael Parsons, you gotta push Watson,
You
bro.
are
You're
pregnant,
smashing.
want to know who I paid to find out, has certainly entered
Man,
the
this is
chat.
crazy.
That's
That's how he does. Let him run it. Let him run it this whole possession, and then Nick Cho gets tired, bro. Gets Parsons past it.
The medical information that you relate to your physician is highly protected. But if you go to a
Horse tranquilizer?
and search for terms like HIV or abortion, that information is not protected at all. It's a system that seems ripe for abuse before you learn that some data brokers have offered
Nah, make sure you put your clothes on when you shower, dog. Don't do that shit, dog.
or even help needed. I am 90 days behind on bills.
Do that, dog.
And something that's
It's bad for you, homie. It's bad for you, dog.
to put people at risk by selling their data. Remember Epsilon, the company that collects clouds of information about you? In 2014,
there you go. Smash on that food fucking Chubb. Step on his fucking dome.
His business in particular operated in a completely above-board manner.
If there are abuses out there, we don't believe those happen within our company, and we would be the first to raise our hand.
Oh, really? You'd be the first to raise your hand, would you? That is interesting, especially because last year, Epsilon settled with the DOJ for $150 million for facilitating elder fraud schemes after admitting that it sold more than 30 million consumers' data to clients who employees knew were carrying out scams, and they were doing it for nearly a decade. So I guess that guy really should have been doing that entire interview with his fucking hand in the air. And at this point, you may be thinking, okay, I think I get it. I am sufficiently creeped out. There is nothing more that you need to tell me. Well, hold on. What about the fact that apps on your phone can give away your exact location to third parties, sometimes without you even knowing it? This free flashlight app settled with the FTC for doing just that, and they are not alone. Take Life 360, an app giving families the opportunity to keep track of one another. You may have seen their ads featuring parents who are relieved because they can see where their kids are going and know when they're reaching their destination.
Watch out with that school.
Damn, nobody was on him, bro. It's crazy. There's nobody on him.
To about a dozen different brokers who then sell it to marketers.
Yeah, it turns out they were selling location data to around 12 different brokers. It's like those old commercials. It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your children are? Because if so, and I have to tell you,
On Eddie, I was just gonna take 2 of
no longer doing that, and that anyway, they had de-identified their users' data before selling it. That last claim is actually very common among both data brokers and the companies that they work with, and it is worth taking a look at. And while it sounds reassuring, the truth is, it can be incredibly easy to find out who is behind a number or a code. One team of researchers even found that 99.98% of Americans would be correctly re-identified in any data set using just 15 demographic attributes, among them age, gender, and marital status. And the ease of de-anonymizing data is something that we have actually known about for years.
In 2006, AOL turned over a bunch of these anonymized search records of their users to the public. And it only took a few short hours for a reporter to decode who the user number 4417749 was. Between searches for things like numb fingers, 60 single men, and dog that urinates on everything, the reporter uncovered a woman, Thelma Arnold. She was age 62.
Okay, I'm not saying that it is at all pleasant that happened, but for the record, I am glad that it introduced me to Thelma Arnold, because I love that woman. She hasn't given up, despite her numb fingers, lackluster love life, and
I felt the lag in sliding. I'm scared if I do that again, I get a fumble.
As we looked into this story, we constantly got reminded that none of us are really anonymous online. At one point, the researcher clicked on this company's website.
But it's ugly. Pacheco cut like a fucking maniac. I don't know why he did that shit. And they're not trying to make him do that.
We offer a pretty cool service called website visitor identification, which helps brands identify who's browsing their website. In fact, it's how we knew how to send you this quick email, which is just objectively unsettling. I don't want anyone tracking what my staff members are doing online, mainly because I don't want to know how many of them have looked up what is John Oliver like. And it is not like data brokers are super careful about who gets your sensitive information. You've already seen a local news station ambush a pregnant woman.
Good shit.
And a few years ago, CBS bought some location data from brokers, and it did not take much to find out who it was, where they lived, and what they were doing.
No names or phone numbers were tied to the data, but it was easy to figure out who each phone belongs to, based on where they spend their nights here in Greenwich. One phone pinged in the morning inside a $7 million mansion. The person then visited a country club before heading downtown and returning home.
Yeah, that doesn't feel great, does it? Although I will say that particular example is not that surprising to me. If you told me an individual woke up in a $7 million mansion in Greenwich, Connecticut, and made me guess where they went,
I don't know what I was thinking.
I don't know, a country club, downtown to hunt humans for sport, and then home again. And I would have been pretty sure that I was right. And the thing is, that kind of identifying information can cause huge problems. Just last year, a priest was forced to resign after a Catholic newsletter said it used app data signals from Grindr to monitor his activity and matching his phone to his residence, essentially outing him, which is a massive, harmful invasion of privacy and definitely the worst scandal ever to hit the Catholic Church. Also, just a quick side note here, Catholic Church, are you absolutely sure? Think about it.
It's my bad, I'm playing bad. Yeah. Eddie's fucking me out.
And when he found out he was going to be betrayed, he invited everyone to a confrontational dinner. I'm just saying it might be worth
throw it away.
Now look, you might still think I don't care about
Not right there, but the other two
is an open book. I have no secrets, so data brokers can just have at it. Even if that is true for you, though, consider that there are others out there who might have very good reasons to not want to be found.
Donna is a domestic violence victim. We're protecting her identity. One of her addresses came up on a data broker site. She says that's frightening.
If you have someone that's tried to kill you, for them to be able to just type in your name and any known address that you've ever stayed in can pop up. It's scary because now they know ways to start trying to find you.
Right, and that's not just theoretical, it has happened. In New Hampshire, a stalker killed a former classmate after finding her with information that he bought from a data broker for $45. And if you have a stalker or you're a victim of domestic violence, it is understandable to want your information removed from these people search sites. Unfortunately, each has its own specific and sometimes very complex process of requesting the removal of information. And there is no federal law requiring that they honour an opt-out request at all. And the lack of regulation here doesn't just benefit individuals who might mean you harm. It benefits the government too, because it gives them a very attractive loophole to the Fourth Amendment protection against unreasonable searches and seizures. Because under that, the government typically needs a warrant to collect information about you without your consent. But if it is not forcing someone to turn over your data, if it's simply buying it from a data broker, that is apparently fine, no warrant necessary. And you can see how valuable that would be. It happens.
Kidding me, bro? How was that? That's bullshit. That's bullshit. He was wide open, bro. He's wide open. I don't get it. Like, I guess I hit the button the wrong way. Yeah, I guess.
If your information has been supplied to the government by an app, even the company behind the app might not know, because it might sell your info to a broker, which then resells it to someone else, which then supplies it to the government. I'll give you an example. A couple of years back, Vice found that the app Muslim Pro, which lets Muslims know when to pray, had been selling user location data to a broker that supplied information to the US government. And while because the chain is so opaque, it is hard to know what exactly was sold or what the government did with it, the app's users were understandably pretty alarmed.
Feeling disturbed, appalled, but not surprised.
Sarah Mustafa used Muslim Pro. That app has since reportedly severed ties with its data partners.
So intrusive. You know, my conversation with God is not information that the government needs.
Yeah, of course it's not information the government needs. There is a reason the book wasn't called Are You There, God? It's me, Margaret, and Homeland Security's on the line as well. Hope that's cool. So to recap here, we've got shady data with virtually no oversight, collecting your data and building profiles that can track who you are, where you are, and what you are most likely to do or buy. You cannot edit this dossier, and others from cops to reporters to your own abusers can find and use this information. It's not a great situation. So, what do we do? Well, it is a bit tricky, especially given the fact that the entire economy of the internet right now is basically built on this practice. All the free stuff that you take for granted online is only free because you are the product. They make money by selling your data. But experts say that there are actually some small steps that you can personally take. You can use web browsers like these to help better protect you against third-party tracking. And if you have an iPhone, you can go to the privacy menu, hit the tracking button, and turn off Allow apps to request to track. But this should not be your responsibility. Your privacy should be the default setting here. And there should be legal fixes to this. Other countries have actually tried. The EU passed a law to force sites to disclose cookies and allow you to opt out. But I will say, Companies now often cleverly present those options in the most annoying way possible, with accept all cookies and easy default, but if you want to reject them, forcing you to go through multiple confusing steps for no clear reason, which is very smart, to be honest. No one is going to put in the work to reject cookies just to sneak a peek at an article titled 5 times Andrew Garfield's Just Was. You'd much rather just hit accept and enjoy your remaining time on this earth gazing at the most emotionally connected Spider-Man to ever splooge the ooze. Now, as for here in the US, individual states have tried to limit data brokers, but advocates say that what is really needed is a comprehensive federal privacy law governing them. This has been proposed for years now, but nothing has happened for a couple of key reasons. First, data broker spending on lobbying in 2020 rivaled that of Facebook and Google, but also politicians now famously build their campaigns on data obtained from brokers. Both parties regularly boast about how much they use data. In fact, just listen to former RNC chair Reince Priebus openly bragging about it.
Everything about almost every potential voter in Georgia is known, and it's not even a joke. They know what beer they drink, what car they drive, how many kids they have, and all that data is used to target every single voter in Georgia.
It's true. Politicians rely on data to be able to target our interests with pinpoint precision. Although, therefore, I do wonder why no presidential candidate has yet targeted me personally with ads promising to fight for the shower of morning chunks that I so richly deserve. I Google it all the time. You would have my vote instantly. But it is very frustrating that the people who could do something about data brokers are so actively incentivized not to. But here is where we may actually be able to help, because, interestingly, the one time that Congress has acted quickly to safeguard people's privacy was in the 1980s, when Robert Bork was nominated to the Supreme Court, and a reporter walked into a local video store and asked the manager whether he could have a peek at Bork's video rental history, and he got it. As soon as Congress realized there was nothing stopping anyone from retrieving their video rental records too, they freaked the fuck out. And lo and behold, the Video Privacy Protection Act was passed with quite deliberate speed. So it seems when Congress's own privacy is at risk, they somehow find a way to act. And it also seems like they're not entirely aware just how easy it is for anyone, and I do mean anyone, to get their personal information, which brings me to me. Because in researching this story, we realised there is any number of perfectly legal bits of fuckery that we could engage in. We could, for example, use data brokers to go fishing for members of Congress by creating a demographic group consisting of men aged 45 and up in a 5-mile radius of the US Capitol who had previously visited sites regarding or searched for terms including divorce, massage, hair loss and midlife crisis. We could call that group Congress and Cabernet and then target that list with ads that might attract those men to click, like marriage shouldn't be in prison, or can you vote twice?
Yeah, I can't do anything, that's crazy. Sucks.
Do you want to read Ted Cruz erotic fan fiction? Just to see what would happen. And if anyone clicked, we'd be able to harvest even more data from them, which we could then theoretically take steps to de-anonymize. Now, am I saying that we're actually going to do that? Collect all that raw information and store it in, let's say, a manila envelope somewhere? Well, I am sorry to disappoint you. We are not going to do that. Why would we when we have already done it? Because all that raw data is currently right in here, and honestly, this whole exercise was fucking creepy. We ran those 3 targeted ads this week in the Capitol Hill area, and to give you a sense of just how many clicks we got, it was very much not 0. Do you want to see more? Because I do. Please, come with me. Because let's start with the very first hit that we got. It came at 3:35 p.m. on Tuesday afternoon from around the Embassy Row area, when a man fitting our demographic description clicked on the Ted Cruz ad, meaning that we now have his IP address and device ID, and also know that he did it on an Android phone, so we could now take steps to identify him, just like we could with
oh no,
who clicked on
you can't throw it at you, that sucks.
Area this week, including at least 3 who may have been inside the Capitol building
I thought he could throw that deep. It wasn't even that deep. I don't get it.
And another who clicked on the Ted Cruz erotic fan picture, which was distressingly popular. If you're thinking, how on earth is
yeah, no, I don't get it. Yeah, he like it like the ball went down on purpose. Like that sucks. Because I should. That's a bad move. Bad move by me.
In this envelope, and you're terrified about what I might do with it. You might want to channel that worry into making sure that I can't do anything. Anyway, sleep well. That's our show. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week. Good night. Dive straight into our main story tonight, which concerns voting.
That sucks.
It was once told to youth with the slogan "Vote or Die," and given the state of politics right now, for the first time, I'm requesting more information on the second option. Specifically, with the midterms now just 2 days away, we wanted to focus on a dangerous trend among Republican candidates, denying the legitimacy of the last election.
The fake news, big tech, and blue state liberals stole the election from President Trump.
The 2020 election was a totally rigged election. In fact, quite frankly, every election since I think George Washington, there's been some kind of a defect in the system.
You can see why he won the presidency, kind of like OJ's innocent.
I'll say this, those people are ridiculous, but they're having a really good time. Just check out this guy. I've never been as happy as he is giving an O.J. Simpson joke in 2021. And I have 2 children. And the thing is, those people are not alone. A majority of Republican nominees for House, Senate, or key statewide offices this year deny or question the 2020 election results. And some, like this guy, deny it while trying to add a bit of spectacle.
Hey, Mike Collins here, your pro-Trump America First trucker, running for Congress here in Georgia 10. Well, I understand, though, Joe Biden was in town yesterday to talk about our elections. It seems that he and Kamala Harris called anyone who disagreed with the federal hijacking of this election.
Oh, that's good shit. That's bullshit. That's bullshit, bro. But I don't know how you got it, but you got it. Good shit.
Spineless politicians who don't fight for Trump. Get to the bottom of 2020.
He literally like just. Yeah, like no, but I'm saying like yeah, like yeah.
Send me to Washington. Okay. Silly thing to get into there. Your brain wants to focus on pro-Trump America First trucker, but then wonders why is he dressed like the world's angriest Target employee? Before noticing, wait, is that a garbage can labeled voting machine? Then also labeled cast ballot, as if they knew that the first label wasn't convincing anyone, but thought that the second one might. Then it takes a minute to focus on the subtle but unmistakable epic points before the explosion, breaking the illusion that that was shot in a single take. Then finally your brain says, hey, he opened with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris think I'm a racist. Did he ever close that loop or nah? And brain, nah. Anyway, that man is completely ridiculous, and given the district where he's running, he's almost certainly going to win on Tuesday. But it is worth dwelling on the promise that he and those other candidates are making, that they are going to fix our elections. Because that speaks to a real problem here, which is that a troubling number of election deniers are running for jobs that can play key roles in administering elections in their states. In fact, over half the country has an election denier running to oversee their elections, and many of them are expected to win. And look, we talked before about voter suppression on this show, whether that's through voter ID laws, felony disenfranchisements, gerrymandering, or restrictions on mail-in voting. But those tactics take place before you cast your ballots. Tonight, we're going to focus on election subversion, which typically happens after the votes are in. It's a strategy to negate legitimate
This is better than nothing.
refusing to accept them. Trump famously tried to subvert the last election. Some current candidates are promising that if elected, they'll be able to guarantee a certain result in the future. Take Jim Marchand. He leads the America First Secretary of State coalition, and if they win, he's been pretty clear about what that would mean. When my coalition of Secretary of State candidates around the country get elected, we're going to fix the whole country. And President Trump is going to be president again in 2024.
Look, no wonder Trump likes that message. Also, if
well, I'm not starting that perks
a guy who looks like a smaller, paler version of him.
Oh, okay.
He looks like a Pokemon that Trump evolves from.
No, it's okay.
So the plan is this overt, and with potential
Yeah, they're both the same.
the next election,
So
and
yeah.
way beyond. Tonight, let's talk about election subversion. And to understand what we're facing, let's revisit briefly
No, I'm trying to, but
the chaos following the last election, as you
trying to
undoubtedly
get my best opportunity against you, but it doesn't matter anymore at this point.
to swing things back into his favour, including calling Brad Raffensperger, the Secretary of State of Georgia, to ask him for just a small favour.
So, look, all I want to do is this.
Waiting on you, Eddie.
I want to find 11,000.
No, I'm good, I'm good.
Votes, which is one more than we have, because we won the state.
It's still incredible to listen to that, and a cold chill ran down my urethra merely hearing his voice again. Seemingly forgetting at one point of how many votes he needs and the word votes. It's genuinely amazing to listen to someone attempt a coup with the same focused energy of a dad struggling to remember his family's McDonald's order. Yeah, gonna get a spicy, crispy, crunchy chicken and 2. Do you have something called son of a baconator here? Are you the Whopper place or are you the other one? Yeah, I'm in the wrong place, aren't I? Okay, got it. Fuck me! Now, thankfully, Raffensperger declined Trump's request, which left him to fight his battles in the courts, where he lost over 60 lawsuits challenging the election.
I couldn't throw away.
Famously, tried
Good shit, Eddie. Dude, I can't do anything, bro. My guys aren't getting open. Or I'm not seeing it fast enough.
Sounds like the phrase Geppetto's therapist uses to talk about Pinocchio. And while I'm sure that you remember all of that, there were also smaller, much lesser known instances where people further down the chain
Yeah, it's a hard time.
thumbing the scale, like in Wayne County, Michigan, where Trump supporters raised bullshit claims about voting irregularities in Detroit, and a Republican member of the County Board of Canvassers there proposed this simple solution.
I would be open to a motion to certify communities other than the city of Detroit.
That move outraged the Democrats on the board and speaker after speaker on the board's public Zoom meeting.
You have extracted a black city out of a county and said the only ones that are at fault at an issue is the city of Detroit, where 80% of the people who reside here are African American.
Right. I understand why he's
Good
upset.
shit.
Generally, when a white person says, I have a compromise and starts doing electoral fractions that count black people less, those haven't been great moments for democracy. Now, that woman later claimed that she really wanted more investigation of those Detroit votes before she'd agreed to certify them. And while, after pushback from Michigan's governor and Secretary of State, she ultimately voted to certify Biden's win, after Trump called her and a fellow Republican board member, they both tried, albeit unsuccessfully, to rescind their votes. Meanwhile, a few days later, at Michigan's state canvassing board, there was a similar stalemate. Its 4 members were evenly split between Democrats and Republicans, one of whom refused to certify Biden's win, which meant it was all on this guy to do the right thing, which thankfully he did with this little speech.
John Adams once said, "We are government of laws, not men." And this board is to adhere to that principle here today. This board must do its part to uphold the rule of law and comply with our legal duty to certify this election. I will be supporting the motion.
And that was it. A boring guy with glasses quoting John Adams upheld democracy. I'm just saying, get Bradley Whitford in there and add some stirring music, and you've got the kind of scene that will make Aaron Sorkin come until he passed out. And the thing is, those are clearly just 2 very local examples, but in state after state, we were very lucky that a small group of individuals in key positions stood firm. Arizona's Republican Governor Doug Ducey was literally in the middle of certifying his state's win for Biden when he got a phone call from Trump, but he put his phone aside and continued signing the paperwork. And I have to say, watching someone screen your call is one of the most devastating things a human being can possibly experience, and I'm so glad that it happened to Donald Trump. So, to recap,
The guardrails that protect our democracy were heavily tested in 2020. While some major weaknesses were exposed, they thankfully held. But since then, there has been a concerted effort to attack the people and institutions that got into Trump's way, shifting the landscape in ways that could make future subversion attempts even more dangerous. Now, for one thing, the fervor around election fraud has been stubbornly persistent, with a recent poll showing 61% of Republicans believe Joe Biden only won due to voter fraud, which is just ridiculous given that, again, there is no evidence of that. Multiple states had exhaustive recounts. This has been litigated. This just isn't one of those unknowable things that will never get resolved, like which one of the Teletubbies,
yeah, you did,
properly, would taste best. That we'll never know, will we? And I know what you're thinking. It's what I'm thinking too. Should we just all say it at once? Exactly. Every one of us is pretty sure that on a rainy day in January, absolutely nothing would taste better than some braised hoe over rice. With some ginger, with some wine. Of course, everyone's pretty sure that a pot of simmers for an hour and a half after getting properly blanched and caramelised would melt in your mouth on that January Sunday. Yum, yum, yummity, yum. But pretty sure isn't sure, and we will never definitively know because you can't eat Teletubbies. There are laws, apparently. So all we are left with is gut instinct, unlike election results, which are actually verified. Sleep with one eye open, you tasty plump clown. Or I'll have your thick salted thighs for my Christmas feast. But the thing is, if you're not a regular consumer of conservative media, you may not realise the extent to which Biden's stolen election has taken hold, and on the basis of incredibly flimsy evidence, perhaps best exemplified by 2,000 Mules, a documentary from conservative bullshit artist Dinesh D'Souza, which is just wall-to-wall nonsense.
The 2020 elections were one of the most corrupt in history. See the proof for yourself.
We tracked 2,000 mules making multiple ballot drops.
2,000 Mules, the shocking new movie from Dinesh D'Souza.
In Philadelphia alone, we've identified more than 1,100 mules.
What is a mule?
Person picking up ballots and running them to the drop boxes.
This is not grandma and walking her dog. Bad background, bad reputation.
They're so intense. Mysterious handoffs in dark alleys, people with bad reputations. It's nice that we finally have an answer to the question, what if The Wire was created by virgins? The central idea of this movie is the claim that there were vote mules who repeatedly visited ballot boxes and deposited suspect ballots, and that Dinesh and his friends have identified them using cell phone data. And it would take the rest of this show to debunk the movie's claims point by point, but very quickly, there is no way, by just using cell phone data, to know whether someone visited a drop box or was just in the vicinity of one, particularly since those boxes were installed in high-traffic areas. Meanwhile, the only map that seems to show someone driving around dumping ballots is fake, and another map supposed to be showing a drop box site is actually a stock photo of Moscow, and the third one just the same...
That was bullshit, I was right there, but... it's whatever. Well, cause it was 1-on-1, and my guy's 6'4", and your guy's 5'9". So I didn't think your 5'9" guy would outjump my 6'4". See the size right there? But I had never gone to him though. How would you know I was gonna go to him if I had never gone to him?
Where they work themselves up over absolutely nothing.
Okay, the next one. Yeah, so let me show you Dog Guy. So Dog Guy.
What I mean is I never went to him. So how would you know I was gonna go to him?
People alive are waiting to go in and vote early. They're doing it the right way. Okay, now you got some other people that are gonna walk up. This lady doesn't care, but this next guy cared.
I hear you.
He's watching the whole thing.
Yeah, that's gonna, yeah.
Got the ballots under his arm already, now he's got the rest of it pulled out of the bag.
And he's got his camera ready to take the pictures as he puts them in there. If you consider the brazenness of this, right? This is the middle of the day. There's people sitting there watching you cheat. People that are doing it the right way.
But it's difficult for them to know what to do. It's accept, observe, and maybe say, what's going on here? What did I just see?
They wonder.
What does this all even mean? If this is happening in broad daylight and nobody's doing anything to stop it?
But that's not damning evidence. That is fully not anything. It's just someone voting. And we need to be absolutely clear on something here. The guy in line that they're talking about, who's supposed to be shocked about the voter fraud that he's witnessing, he's looking at the dog. As anybody would. The only reason I can focus on what's going on there right now is because thankfully they blurred that dog. Otherwise, I, like him, would be gawking at it and asking, who's a good boy until the polls close. This movie is astonishingly done, but it has a real following. At least 50 candidates have promoted or cited it, and it, and conspiracy theories like it, have contributed to what's been called a sea of pervasive distrust, with deniers now channeling that distrust to burrow into every level of the election process. Take the very lowest one. Precincts. They're small, neighbourhood-level units centred around polling places. Political parties organise in precincts, and local governments hire and recruit poll workers there. Trump's allies have been working extremely hard to make sure that they are well represented at that level, particularly Steve Bannon, pictured here, drowned, who has made his precinct strategy a constant refrain.
What we need right now, the way the Republican Party is structured, is that you can go to a precinct, become a precinct committeeman, and then you've got real standing.
We're building an army of the awakened, and we are taking over precinct strategies. We're taking over election boards, canvassing boards. We're flooding the zone with poll workers, poll watchers, election judges, people in the room. It's going to be MAGA in the room counting the votes, because only MAGA can count fair.
Okay. Set aside only MAGA can count fair, and just spare a moment
that was a good
for
game,
his
boys,
room
right
decor,
there.
which features an actual sign reading, "There are no conspiracies, but there are no coincidences," a quote attributed to Stephen K. Bannon. While you might think there is nothing douchier than quoting yourself, it turns out you're wrong about that. It's doing that while also slightly trying to give your name a fancy makeover. Because Stephen K. Bannon? Oh, please, Steve. No one is buying that, because we looked, and the K is for Kevin. You're just making your name even sadder. But Bannon's strategy seems to have paid off. Republicans found last year that in 41 key battleground counties, there are at least 8,500 new Republican precinct officers or equivalent officials, with no similar surge from the Democrats. Bannon and other Republicans have also been encouraging people to take on jobs in polling stations while issuing some troubling advice. At one session for poll workers and watchers in Michigan, run by a Republican activist.
No, I pressed the wrong button, but it's my bad.
911 and contact sheriffs to involve law enforcement in any election-related complaints, which isn't great, is it? You should clearly only call 911 with an actual emergency, like, a car accident or a break-in, or when someone takes off their shoes and socks on a plane. Oh yeah, I know we're in the sky, but I'm asking you to get a police helicopter and shoot us down. And if you're thinking that election supervisors won't stand for shenanigans like that, you should know many have been driven away. One investigation found that in 5 highly contested battleground states, roughly 1 in 3 top election administrators left the job after the 2020 election. And when you consider the kind of personal messages that some received last time, you do understand why they may not want to do it again.
This election is effing rigged. You all know it, and you are complicit as if.
You lied. You're a traitor. Perhaps cuts and bullets will soon arrive. Here's my address.
Hey, Rick. 234 years ago, the founding Caucasian fathers of America gave us the Second Amendment. Time's running out, Richard. We're coming after you.
Yeah, no worries.
Every motherfucker that stole this election with our Second Amendment. Subpoenas be damned. You're gonna be served lead, you fucking enemy communist.
Holy shit, those messages are horrifying. And by the way, founding Caucasian fathers is just one hell of a phrase. Because it either comes from the mouth of a racist or someone with strong opinions on the casting decisions in Hamilton, because they are a racist. Reuters actually identified more than 900 threats made against election administrators since the last election, so it is no wonder so many qualified people are leaving, and their replacements are sometimes troubling. Take Nye County, Nevada, where their top county election official was replaced by this guy, Mark Kump, who not only said that he believes Trump won the 2020 election, he's also promoted 2,000 mules and has amplified some of the baseless hysteria around Dominion voting machines. And look, we've addressed voting machines before on this show. They do have some vulnerabilities, but importantly, those vulnerabilities can be counteracted by having a physical paper trail and doing risk-limiting audits after the fact. Also, there is no proof that any machines have ever been compromised in a US election.
No, I should have declined it, my bad. I should have declined it to make the clock run out. It's not, I'm not going to change the game. I'm not going to win the game right now. No, I didn't. No, I fucked up. I should have declined it. There's no point in accepting it. It's my bad.
It's being problematic at all because I'm trying to increase voter confidence in the election.
In the election space, the machines that count go through multiple layers of security.
No, don't give me that thing. Just play the game.
Regulated throughout the
Too good.
That's a perspective. There are a lot of people, again, the voters in this county.
Good game, Eddie. Good game.
And whether it's true or
No, I know what I'm doing. It just I started drinking earlier before that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not an excuse, but I'm starving. No, what I mean is that I starved myself for like 2 hours to play a couple games. My food is ready, and I'm just like, it just didn't work out for me.
My perception will become reality. I'm just saying, if my last name were Kump, I definitely wouldn't give my baby a four-letter name that starts with an M. It'd be like meeting someone named Earl Harbor or Holly Course. It feels like their parents just went out of their way to fuck with them and all of us. Kump has suggested that all ballots should now be hand counted. But experts will tell you that while hand counting is an important tool in recounts and audits as a way of verifying the machine count, tallying entire elections by hand would cause chaos and make results less accurate, not more. And sure enough, early voting in that county has been a spectacular mess.
These takeaways are killer.
Two groups of 5 people, spending about 3 hours each counting just 50 ballots. With
Good game, Eddie.
tallies leading to recounts and occasionally more recounts, and one volunteer lamenting, "I can't believe it's taking 2 hours to get through